In the last video, I ended with a question. If people stopped needing me, will I still be valuable? I wish I could tell you I knew the answer, but I didn't. In fact, there was a season of my life when that question became very real. Because for years I found value in what I could do. I was a software engineer. I solved problems. I built things. I understood systems. People came to me when something was broken, and I was good at it. So when I lost that job, I didn't just lose employment. I lost the thing that had been telling me that I mattered. And then something even harder happened. When I went looking for work, the market didn't want what I had to offer. Not because I wasn't good, and not because I didn't know what I was doing, but because the world had changed. There were younger people entering the field, people willing to work for less, people who didn't come with the price tag that I now had around my head. And suddenly, the thing that I had spent years becoming was no longer needed. And that did something to me. I didn't know who I was. Not really. I had become what I did. And when no one seemed to need what I did, I felt worthless. Now that's hard to admit, but it's true. I felt worthless because I couldn't provide for my family the way I thought I should. I felt worthless because the skill I had built my life around just didn't seem to open doors anymore. I felt worthless because I tied too much of my identity to what I could produce. And eventually, I found another place to feel valuable: financial services. I started helping people in a different way. I started rebuilding that sense of value. And over time, I became a partner in the firm. So you would think that that would have answered the question. I rebuilt everything: a new career, a new reputation, a new way to contribute. But looking back, I think I was still doing the exact same thing. I had changed the field, but I hadn't changed the equation. My value was still attached to what I could provide. But then COVID happened, and I ended up in a coma. I was not expected to live. And in that moment, I wasn't solving problems, I wasn't providing, I wasn't producing, I wasn't helping anyone. I was lying in a hospital bed. When I woke up, I thought I had nothing to offer. But something happened while I was there. People prayed. People all over the world were praying for me. Some of them knew me well, some of them barely knew me, and some didn't know me at all. Our pastor's wife is from Nigeria, and there were people in her village that were praying for me. These are people who are not guaranteed a meal every day, and yet they fasted for me. They didn't know me, not really. They only knew that I helped someone that they loved. And still, they prayed, they fasted, they cared. And when I woke up, I had to wrestle with that. Because I had spent so much of my life believing my value came from what I could do. But when I could do nothing, I still mattered. When I had nothing to provide, I was still loved. When I had no strength, no answers, no ability to help, people still cared whether I lived. And that changed something inside of me. Because if my value came from what I could provide, then I should have lost it all in that hospital bed. But I didn't. And that's when I began to understand something I'd missed for years. My value comes from the value that God places on me. Not from my job, not from my usefulness, not from my ability to solve problems, not from how much I can produce. And I'll be honest, I'm still learning how to live that. Because it's easy to say our value doesn't come from what we do. It's much harder to believe it when we can't do what we used to do. But maybe that's where hope begins, when we finally start asking a different question. Not what can I provide, but who have I allowed to determine my value? And have they earned that authority?